Hey, this is Gina Grad.
Hi, this is Teresa Strasser.
Hi, everyone. This is Mike Errico.
Hey there, this is Casey Cavalier.
I'm Rocky Rose.
And you are listening to The Jay Franze Show.
Lucky you.
Welcome to The Jay Franze Show, a behind-the-curtain look at the entertainment industry with insights you can't pay for and stories you've never heard. Now, here's your host, Jay Franze.
Well, hello, and welcome to the show. I am Jay Franze, and this is your backstage pass to the music industry. This week, we get to talk with two amazing recording artists. We get to talk with William Lee Golden and Danny Stefanetti. We'll talk to them about the voice memo that sparked this duet between the two of them, how Danny was able to produce this song with the legendary Jeff Panzer, and well, we'll see how this milestone fits into William's 60-year career. Now, William and Danny, they are not just great artists, they are great people, and I can't wait to talk with them tonight. So if you would like to join in, comment, or fire off any questions, please head over to jfranze.com. Now, let's get started. William, sir, can you tell us the earliest memory you have of your son leaving that very special voice message on your phone?
Well, it was, Solomon was like 5 or 6 years old, and he would get his mother's phone, and he figured out what to push that would call my number. And he would call me sometimes, and we'd chit-chat. Then when he would hang up, I'd say, "I love you, Solomon." And he'd say, "I got my heart on you." And but he would leave me messages. He'd say, "Hey, Dad, this is Solomon. I got my heart on you." Putting the words in that order was kind of unique in a way to me, that I had not heard the expression of love kind of in those terms. Anyhow, it kind of stuck with me, and I kept those messages on my phone. Later on, when I got rid of that phone, I had those messages transferred over to a CD that I have somewhere in the basement down here, but was his messages that I wanted to keep. And I thought it was precious. It was fun that he would leave that message to me, and that's where the original title for the song came from.
Well, you mentioned the recording, and you've got that recording saved on CD. Have you ever considered releasing that as maybe a tag to the song, or maybe in addition to the song?
Yeah, I have. But I've been so busy doing other things that I haven't had a chance to go down and find the box that all of those are in. But I do remember having all that transferred, and I do have it down there somewhere. But I should try to find it and get it out there.
So you take that title. How did it evolve into the lyrics?
Well, it was some years later than the time that he would leave me those messages. And it was here not long ago, 3 or 4 years ago. You know, he was in high school. You know, sometimes a road life when you're an absentee father and an absentee husband for 150 days a year, every year touring with the Oak Ridge Boys, you know. But we've been doing that for as long as I've been with the Oak Ridge Boys, which is soon be 60 years.
Wow.
We've maintained a heavy schedule. That's part of what we do to survive. We have to take our music out to the people. There's no way for them to all come to us to be able to give it to them. You know, I guess in today's technology, you can do that. You can set up and have a concert anywhere and invite people to come and join. So, went through a divorce with his mother, and he was moved to Austin, which he's 23 years old now, and he's in medical school in college, and he's just starting his 4th year there. But it was a time when he was getting out of high school and turning 18 and things that I had a weekend here at home alone, and Simone had gone to Tulsa to visit her daughter Megan and her young granddaughter Matilda, and I was here. And reflecting back when Solomon was young here, he was born here and raised here, and I was having trouble trying to get messages to him, trying to call or to send him text and things, and I wasn't getting much response. I was feeling like that he was being pulled further and further away, and as a father, I felt like there was a lot of things that I was missing out on his life through his adolescence and his teenage years that I would have certainly left a bit a part of. And so I guess it was through that anguish and sadness in a way that was fleeting and all passing by, and I was having to accept the fact of drifting apart in a way that I didn't want that to happen. So it was a way for me to get out of me what I was feeling. I just had to let something out, and I wanted to tell him something in a way, but I thought, you can write letters and they read a letter and sometimes it's thrown in a trash can, but I felt like writing a song with some of my feelings and remembering his childhood when he was born and all of that in the first verse, and then the choruses, and second verse I wanted Danny to sing because she's an incredible singer and an incredible guitar player. She put the whole tracks for this together.
That's a good point. Danny, he mentioned it, so let's go ahead and talk about it. How did the collaboration come to you?
Well, it was about over a year and a half ago now. Jeff Panzer was asking, I think, William for over a year or so to get that song on a voice memo or some tangible audio so that I could hear it. So he asked William, would you like Danny to put music to it? He had a melody and everything, and he said yes, and it was a really touching story. But then when I heard the audio, the voice memo that he sent me over, it was straight from the heart, And I heard that was one of William's first songs that he wrote. So I can't imagine what other ones he's got hidden there. It took 2 years to pull that out of him somewhere in his music room. Yeah, it was such a beautiful melody, and the lyrics were they were pretty much already there. I just had to change a few things around, and then we took it into the studio like we did with Danny's Diamonds, and Jeff Panzer and I co-produced it, and I put down all the strings and guitar layers, bass, pedal steel. We were going to go for a normal drum, so we went for like brushes first, just to give it more of a country feel. And I don't know, there's a lot of like magical layers in there. We used all types of instruments, really. And we just wanted to get that driving through the mountains and looking out to a sparkling ocean kind of feeling to the song, which William already artistically described in the lyrics, because he used to spend time at the Virgin Islands with Solomon, which he wrote about in the story, which I only heard about, that he actually went on holidays with Solomon to the Virgin Islands during the January holidays. So, or vacations, you call them out here. So, yeah, the song just happened organically, but I was thrilled to be part of something that William wrote because, I mean, he's already an artist, a painter, and a singer, and now songwriter.
Right.
A lot of different facets to him.
Well, you've mentioned a couple things in there I want to make sure we touch on, but one of them was the instrumentation, how you put that together, and it even has a string section in it. So Did you play that string section?
Yeah, I did that. I played the parts and the layers on the keyboard.
Right.
So, and I forget what interface or plugin I used. One of the symphony plugins. I think it was the BBC or.
Well, it sounds amazing. It absolutely sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was a bit of cello and it was cellos and violins and a few other instruments. Yeah.
Well, you talked about the recording that you and Jeffrey Panzer, you guys went ahead and produced that together. Did you take it into a studio or did you do it in your home studio?
I did it in my home studio.
So William, sir, so she puts together this track for you. Where do you sing it?
Danny brought her computer. She brought a beautiful mic looks like the one she's got there, but it's a nice singing mic. And she brought that here with her computer and her guitar. And we sat in here in the piano room, and she played this for me and played the track to me. And then she got her guitar out, and she recorded me singing that here in our piano room here where we live. So Jeff Panzer, he got Adam Wagner to bring his video camera over here and set it up while we were recording and playing and singing the song. He might have already shared it with you. What she did is she also, in the track that she put together, she brought a more youthful, more contemporary musical feel to a song that a guy like me, an older guy, has poured out of his heart, and probably is more of a ballad type thing, but she took that and made it, put a great feel and a beat to it that made it infectious, really. It's the music that brings this song to life.
No, it
and
really
that's
does.
what I love about it.
Well, that's a good point. You talk about the age difference between the two of you, but it also shows in the music, the track itself. For example, the use of reverb being a little heavier on William, the way it was done in the past, versus a little lighter on you, the way it's done currently.
Yes.
Did you do that on purpose?
I think I just gave it that airiness because he has such a deep voice. There wasn't much thought to it. I just liked the sound of it.
Well, if you compare it to duets of the past, just say like Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers type stuff, it has that feel to it. So it has that feel of fullness of the reverb in the song. And then you can also feel that contemporary feel coming in. So I thought it was a very good job
That's
you
right.
doing that.
Oh, awesome.
So great job on that. And then let me just ask you, William, cover your ears for a second. What was it like working with a legend like William?
Well, he just makes you feel at home. It was so easy. He just comes back with the lyrics in his hand, and we're like, William, because I was staying at the Golden Era with William and Simone at their beautiful house, and we had dinner, and then I'd be like, I'd actually go. He'd probably be watching TV or something. I'd be like, William, are you ready to do the next vocal? I need you in the music room. He's so casual and easy to work with. I know he's a legend, but he treats everybody so equal. He's so humble, so he doesn't make you feel nervous or anything like that.
That's good.
When I was working with him,
She took care of business too. I mean, she kept me on track to get what she needed, and I respect her for that. She kept her focus, and she didn't get distracted by everything going on around here, and so and that's another thing that I admire and respect about her, that she had a focus and a purpose, and she followed that, and we got everything done that she needed, the best that I could do it, and we were so happy to have her here, and her wonderful light that she brings, that shines everywhere she's at. She has a glow in her that glows out, and everyone can see it and feel it. And she has a thing in her like Dolly Parton, like she glows, and her infectious personality is a real personality. It's who she is. She loves everybody, and it's the same thing with Danny. She has that genuine, good, true heart and love for what she does, for music and for people, and for what she's doing, and the people around her. She has a lot of love, and that all comes out in her beauty and personality. You can see it and feel it when you're in her presence. So she'll have a bright future, and I'm just happy to be one of the little stepping stone pedals along her way to encourage her to pursue her highest hopes and dreams, because she deserves it. Her talents warrant it. She's a very skilled guitarist. It didn't come without her spending a lot of time with that in her hand, and it was because she loved the instrument. She fell in love with it when she was young, and that shows, and then her love for singing, that shows. So I admire Danny, and it's been such a joy for her to bring her energy into a song that she helped me write and helped me make it into the song that it is, and to amplify the parts that needed amplifying, and musically put her talents to bring it into contemporary music, and that's what I'm excited about tonight.
Danny, how do those words make you feel?
What a rap. That's so nice to have something said like that about you, especially from William. So, wow, I'm blown away.
Danny, you mentioned Jeff earlier, and
Yes.
Jeff is a longtime friend of yours.
Yes.
What role did he play in this as a producer?
Yeah, Jeffrey has a good knack for finding talents in people and coming alongside us. And, you know, he was part of the production and the video part of it as well. And I would say all aspects of this project. Yeah, I did the music, and with the guitar, you know, I like to write prolifically with the guitar and when it comes to melodies and things like that. But this one already had a melody, so I kind of reworked it like I would with one of my own songs. I just like popified it, you know, what I would usually do to make it feel commercial and make it feel radio friendly. And when I got the lyrics from William, I felt it was very folky, leaning folk ballad. But I brought that in the production, I brought that countryness and that pop element to it to make it more uplifting and make it just a feel-good song. It was, you could have gone either way with it, but I wasn't sure if he was going to like my idea, but that's how I felt it should sound. But
what she did is she helped me take a sad love song and made it into a positive, happy love song, really. So that's the difference. It was a love song either way, and it made it what it is, and it's a song that I'm happy with because it makes me happy to know that she helped put the final touches of help me polish a rough stone, actually, and that's kind of, most diamonds come from the rough-looking stones, but she helped me show a better facet to the song.
William, you've had a long career. You've worked in country, you've worked in gospel. How does it make you feel now that you're working in pop country?
Well, it's good. I've been a fan of rock and roll since the beginning, you know, since the Little Richard, Chuck Berry, and Fats Domino, Elvis Presley, Carl Perkins, and Jerry Lee Lewis. That's kind of where it all spawned out of. I've loved rock and roll since the beginning, and I love Rolling Stones, Bob Seger, and the Silver Bullet Band.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of music that I would go see over and over, you know. Like Bruce Springsteen, I enjoyed going to see his concerts. They're inspiring to me as a singer, to see a guy get out there and to give it all he's got and work as hard as he does for 3 hours, 3.5 hours. But to be there and sit in a seat and watch that and get caught up in it, where he plays through intermission with him and his guitar while the other guys go off for about 15 minutes, and then here they all come back. And it never stops. But yeah, it's going to see people that inspired me, and then to get to sing and play with Danny and her bringing another generation of what pop music and rock and roll music has meant to them, you know, and because I've got grandkids older than Danny, and good music is good music, and it can reach beyond age limit, and it's when you bring in young contemporary feels in the music part of it is what can make a love song a pop love song and an uplifting love song. and a sing-along song that other people can sing the chorus to the ones they love, whoever they are. It was written to try to make it be that way, to where it didn't identify the person that you was loving, so to speak.
Sure.
Let us all identify the person in us that we love as a listener. But it still was my feelings that I was able to get out of me, have it preserved now, thanks to Danny and Jeff Panzer. It's a gift that I will always treasure, to be able to give to my youngest son, Solomon, for all the love and joy that he brought into our home and our life in his lifetime here.
What's Solomon up to these days?
Solomon is 23. He's in college now. He's studying medicine. He's an EMT, emergency medical technician, and he's been that for a while. He's now studying to be a practitioner and to be able to do stuff in the field. So that's kind of where his studies are, and he's excited about what he's doing and his internships that he's being able to do. And I'm so happy that Danny and Jeff helped me get this out of me, because Jeff was aware when I was going through the weekend of, I had told him that I was writing a song, but I never sang it to him. But I kept waiting till the right time to get someone to help me put the music down, that I could even put a demo of the song together. But what I got was a double bonus. I got a great singer and a great musician and a great arranger and a young person that's multi-talented. So I get all of that, which is several times more than I could have originally expected.
Absolutely, I second that. So what was Solomon's reaction to the song?
Well, he hasn't said much, but I'm anxious to see what he thinks after we get all of this out and it gets sent to where he can actually punch it up on wherever and listen to it maybe, or share it with his girlfriend. So he's got a girlfriend in San Antonio now that I met her when I was out there in Fredericksburg playing out there with my sons and our family band.
Very nice.
Yeah, I met Solomon's girlfriend. Her name is Emma.
Very nice. All right, well, let's get back to the song itself. Danny, were you nervous when it came to blending your voice with William's?
I was excited to see how our voices would blend, because you never know until you sing with someone. But it's crazy how our voices are so different, yet they blended.
They did, very much so. I think it helps being in such a different register that your voice just sits right on top of his nicely.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, I mean, when you sing the harmonies, you took a more old school approach to the harmonies than a more modern approach where you're singing your own melodies and intertwining them together. Did you do that on purpose?
It's probably just the way that I harmonize.
You're supposed to say yes. Yes, I did. It was planned.
I totally did that on purpose.
Yeah.
I think that's the way
That sounds much better.
William kind of harmonized. I don't know. I don't want to take that. William's an amazing harmonizer, especially being in the Oak Ridge Boys. So I'm not sure, William, on your take on harmonies. You'll have to say what you think about that. But for me, my harmonies have always been by ear. I remember learning how to do harmonies from a girl at church. And I just got in the worship band, I remember, and I said to her, I don't know how to harmonize. She said, come to my car. Okay, you're going to learn. And she pressed play on a CD, and she's like, okay, follow me. It's a third above. So that's the way I learned how to harmonize. It's just by ear, just what feels good, and the fifth above. I don't know, William, how do you harmonize?
Well,
I taught you how to harmonize.
My sister did, actually, when I was 6 and 7 and 8 years old. She taught me to play rhythm guitar and to harmonize. She needed a harmony singer and an acoustic guitar player, so she taught her little brother how to do that. And I learned that when I was young. She played mandolin, she plays piano, and she could also play guitar. But she wanted to play the mandolin. That became one that she wanted to play. And we'd listen to the Grand Ole Opry and hear all those bluegrass players and Bill Monroe and all of them playing mandolin, and the Louvin brothers and people like that. Well, we learned to sing those old country songs and the harmony songs of the Louvin brothers and the Bales brothers, the old Grand Ole Opry singers, and we'd sing songs like Hank Williams' "I Saw the Light" and Roy Acuff's "Great Speckled Bird." But my sister would sing. She would sing Kitty Wells' "Mansion Over the Hilltop," and these were gospel songs that these country stars were singing that we could sing as kids in church. Then once a week we'd get to sing a song on Granddaddy's radio show. So when we were little kids, we had a duet and played in every little church and schoolhouse around where I grew up. But I remember going to school and realizing I was the only kid in school who could play a guitar. And my sister and my mother taught me that. They taught me how to sing harmonies. Your voice makes the chords and the harmony notes. And she taught me, the third above the lead and the third under the lead and those harmonizing parts. But I learned that before. Then later our little brother joined us. We did sing trio harmonies then. So, yeah, that was something that I learned when I was real young, is the chords of harmony. And then as older and singing with the Oak Ridge Boys and recording a lot of different songs, in gospel music, there's a lot of intricate chords. Every song is a learning experience to me. So yeah, we just did an album this year. We're talking about the retro sound earlier. The Oak Ridge Boys have a new album coming out in October that Dave Cobb produced. Now he produces Chris Stapleton, and he's a guy that goes back to the retro sounds. In the studio, he's got all this old early 50s equipment when rock and roll hit. And he loves to make music when country music and rock and roll refused. When it first come out of the old revival sounds, it spilled over into Saturday night rock and roll sounds. And that's what Little Richard brought. It's what Jerry Lee Lewis brought into music, with secular words to old revival music sounds. It's what I related to as a little kid growing up and being at these revival churches where there's shouting, people get the music going and everybody get happy and get to shouting and playing music and dancing in the spirit, man. So that's where it all started with me, is growing up in that environment of playing music in church, and then getting old enough to go to concerts, and then rock and roll hit, and I was a teenager at that time, 15, 16 years old, when Elvis and Jerry Lee and Little Richard and Fats Domino, Chuck Berry, all of that was took over the radio waves, man, and that was firing up the whole country. Everybody went rock and roll.
They did, and they haven't stopped yet. With such a career, how does this milestone fit in with everything else that you've achieved along the way?
Mm-hmm.
Well, to me, every day has its own memories. Every day is a new opportunity to learn something new. And it's a situation where you never get too old to learn something new, and you never get too old to try something new. And to be able to sing with someone with a talent, with Danny Stefanetti, is, to me, is a thrill, because it's exciting to me. It stimulates my side of me that loves music and loves rock and roll, and I love how music Music has a healing power. It can get you out of a bad mood and put you in a good mood. Your body moving with excitement. That's what people need, you know. Everybody, the whole world is taught to, hey, everybody sit down and be quiet. So as we get older, sometimes we rebel against that and we want to get loud and wild. And I had my share of that in high school, I guess, but rebelling and get bored in school and get up and walk out. And
We're going to have to steer clear of that conversation for the moment here. We don't have enough time to finish that one.
Well, I know.
Danny, what do you hope people take away from this song?
I hope people can relate to it, whether they're father and son or friends or couples. I've got my heart on you.
Me?
Yeah, I hope that people love the song, the video, and the whole experience. I hope they sing along to it. And what do you think, William?
To me, I wanted it to be a song that could fit someone that loves someone, that it didn't identify who the person was. I wanted it to be where that someone else besides me could sing it. If Solomon ever wanted to sing it, he could sing it to his girlfriend or whoever, you know, that it would not be identifiable, so to speak.
So, do you two expect any future collaborations together?
Well, we've actually got some TV appearances in Nashville this September for this release. I'm very excited. We'll probably be playing this song live on the acoustic guitar, and maybe I Saw the Light or something gospel together. We'll see.
Very nice. William, what are your thoughts?
I would be up for it. I had some ideas at one time, but again, I'm slow to get them out. But it makes me think about it now since this one is completed.
Was there any particular moment in this process that stood out to you?
Well, I'm so slow and hard to get things out of sometimes that Panzer had trouble getting me to get it out because I felt timid about it and bashful maybe in a way, about something that I might be saying or, putting their feelings out on the line, so to speak. Whether it's good or bad, all you know is just kind of what you're feeling and then the melody that your mood is in when you're feeling it. And it was that process to where I was in it all weekend, man. I could not move from it. I couldn't get nothing else. Couldn't think about anything else. I was deep into where that song, when I went for it, I got way into it, and that's what kind of come out of it. It was a way to express what was inside of me that I couldn't reach him on a phone to get him to return my calls. And sometimes, it would be long distance. It was making me realize that the older we get, that maybe he would remember that at some point. I just wanted to share my memories of things that we had kind of done together. It was pleasant and memorable, and my thoughts and feelings that he would somehow have that physically in his hands, that he could see and hear and whatever, if he ever chose to. And hopefully one day it would mean more to him than it does now.
Well, I think you did just that during the lyrics of the song. But one thing you just mentioned in there, I mean, you have a lifetime of a career. You've won all sorts of awards. You're in the Hall of Fame. And yet you still feel shy to release material?
Well, I guess because I'm touched by great songs. And then I hear a lot of songs, and some of them touch certain people, and some of them touch other certain people. Then I've heard people that sing new songs that that don't do much for me, you know, sometimes. I'm just shy that maybe my songs wouldn't relate to nobody other than me, so to speak.
Do you think that comes from a lifetime of singing other people's songs and now you're venturing into writing your own?
Well, I'm not sure, man. It's maybe a lifetime of kind of waiting on a bone to fall my way, so to speak. So,
Well, it looks like it has.
I've enjoyed harmony singing too, and I enjoyed taking a lead sometimes, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to sing lead on a few songs that did well in the country music charts. It does me good to try to do something that I kind of have a feeling for and something that I'm even more involved with, and that's something from pouring my heart and feeling into a song personally, that I don't want to force what I'm doing on someone that maybe might not appreciate it, or I don't want to force it on trying to pretend that I know what I'm doing, that my song's as good as maybe somebody else's song. I'm not in a song competition right now.
It's about the feeling.
But I get to sing a song on the new album that I also like with the Oak Ridge Boys. The album's called Mama's Boys. A lot of songs about mamas, and it's Dave Cobb's idea for that album. He also brought this song for me to sing. It's called Come On Home, and it's about a young boy leaving home, and he's going to head out. He can't wait to leave. He takes off. Then he don't tell his mother where he's going, but she's crying he's leaving. And he has a story song about a guy leaving home. Then he gets way out in California, the LA truck stop, calls back home, and his mother answers, and she tells him to come back home. The door's always open and the lights are always on. You know you're always welcome, and come on home. It's a touching song, but it's a great up-tempo, kind of a kick-ass song too, you know. And I like that part about it. The song Dave Cobb wanted me to sing, and I love the song, man. So for me, from a feel-good song, is one of my favorite on the new Oak Ridge Boys album.
Danny, what are you going to look back on now when you reflect on this song? What memory are you going to take from it?
This might have been my first recorded duet. I've done singing competitions before where you sing with someone else, but this is probably my first released duet. So I'm just going to take it in and enjoy this month and the next couple of months. I'm just going to look up to William and let it happen, you know?
Do you look to William as a mentor?
Yeah, I do. Yes, and seeing him do what he loves and seeing him at 85 with so much energy. I mean, he started at, 9 o'clock in Central Standard Time doing press today, and he's in the middle of touring. PR dates probably for the Oak Ridge Boys and the Goldens and this project, and I'm hardly keeping up with him. So, yeah, I definitely look up to him. I hope I have that much energy. Wow.
I was out with the Oak Ridge Boys all weekend, and we got home this morning early from Worcester, Ohio, at a big fair, outdoor grandstand fair last night. So we were in Frederick, Maryland Saturday night, and Greensburg, Pennsylvania on Friday night, I guess it was. Grand Ole Opry last Thursday night.
Wow.
Just insane, isn't it?
Keeps me out of trouble.
You look at Danny over there. How's it feel to know that you make such an impact on people?
Well, it's something that you feel a humble heart, because, you know, I know who I am. I'm actually a farmer, cotton farmer, a peanut picker from South Alabama, and I had the same passion for music that I see in Danny. She has that same passion. She's had it since she was a young girl too, and she's certainly associated with one of the most famous people in the music business is Jeff Panzer. He understands the talents that Danny possesses, and he wants to help her to get to achieve what she deserves.
Danny, my friend, how did you come across such great friends?
I don't know. How did I get so lucky? I'm lucky to be surrounded with other creatives that are doing what they love, and you can tell it. You can tell in the way they do their craft that they love doing what they do.
That's awesome.
And I think that that's contagious to be around, and I think that's why we all work so well together.
William, sir, you mentioned earlier in our conversation that you had somebody come by and film the recording process and film a video of you guys at your home. Is there any chance in the future that we'll see any sort of, not just music video, but maybe some documentary style video come from this?
I'm not sure we recorded the video part of us recording the song. We did record it in here, but the documentary to go with it, I'm not sure. That's a good idea, man. I haven't heard Jeff talk about it, but since you're bringing it up, it would be a good thought to pursue, I think.
Well, I don't need credit. I would just like to see the documentary. All right. Well, we do this thing here we call Unsung Heroes. You've both been on the show before. You've both gone through the process. Is there anybody that you would like to thank in this process, William?
Well, there's a lot of people to thank, on this particular project. Certainly Jeff has been there from the beginning. He pulled a tooth out of me, and he pulled it out because he knew I had written something, but I never would get it on tape. And he was a part of all of this, and certainly Danny is the biggest part of it. And I'd like to thank my wife for playing a part in helping to make us feel comfortable in what we do here, and having Danny here when she's here visiting. And thank God that he works in mysterious ways. And so sometimes you look at things, you realize that it's a God sent, and you need things and people in your life to uplift you in ways that you need it the most.
Danny, do you have anybody you'd like to shine a little light on?
Yeah, thank you, Jeffrey, for making this project happen, and all of the Golden family. Also, a big shout out to another one of the Oaks, Joe Bonzel, because we miss him a lot, and Rusty. I got to spend a bit of time with him on the last trip. So yeah, it's been a hard month for the Goldens. So I want to thank the whole Golden family for all the beautiful souls and their just amazing people. Yeah.
Can't imagine what that must be like for you, William, and your family. So I feel the same way.
Yeah, well, it's things happen in life is hard to understand, and it's some things you never quite prepared for. So yeah, we miss Rusty, and we think about him every day, and we treasure the times and the things that we did together, and so they're even more special now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so my unsung heroes are the Goldens and the amazing music that they're continuing to put out with their family band as well.
I love all of my sons, and I'm thankful that Solomon gave me the words and inspiration to get this out of me and my intimate feelings in a song.
Now the rest of them are going to expect songs, Just throwing that out there. A big thanks to William and Danny for taking the time to share their stories with us. And thank you for taking the time to hang with me here. As always, I really do appreciate it. If you know anyone that would enjoy this episode, please be sure to share it. You can do that and find the links to everything mentioned over at jayfranze.com/episode 91. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to The Jay Franze Show. Make sure you visit us at jayfranze.com. Follow, connect, and say hello. This episode has been brought to you by VR Knives, your source for 100% custom knives made by a true rock star. So, if you're in the market for a new piece of art, reach out to VR Knives. 407-421-5528. 407-421-5528.